So, so here I was sitting here for the last half an hour, and I was digging through stuff, and I kept checking my clock, saying, "Oh, I got 22 minutes until 9 o'clock. Oh, I got 17 minutes till 9 o'clock. Oh, I got 12 minutes till 9 o'clock." And I was stuck because a friend of mine had posted something about the cages at the southern border and how that no, those don't exist anymore except only on TV. And so it was a funny meme. And so and he had people in there arguing with him about how Trump's devastating policies at the southern border and blah, 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 blah. So I just went and I looked up the executive order that I knew had been signed in the summer of 2018 that ended the practice of separating children at the southern border from their families, and yet maintained Trump's zero tolerance policy at the border. And it was very interesting because I got this isn't what we're going to talk about today, but the more I got into it, every article I was looking up on Google from everybody in the mainstream press, except for one or two, was all coloring that as Trump reverses his devastating policy of separating children from their families at the border. Trump reversal. Trump backtracks. Trump realizes his devastating policies needed to be changed. And as I'm reading all of those headlines, I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. What is Trump reversing? It wasn't his policy to begin with. He inherited those policies from the Obama administration. And all he was doing was saying, hey, we've been following these policies at the border. We need to end that. So he didn't cave, anything like that. So sorry, that's why I'm late. I finally found, and by the way, the executive order, several of those articles, I've seen the executive order. I posted it back at the time it happened. And so I'm looking at the executive order, or for the executive order, over at whitehouse.gov, where you can find all the executive orders. And I even saw links in several of the articles I looked up that were condemning Trump, of course. You can see the wording of the actual executive article here. And every link I clicked on, that order is nowhere to be found. So I found that very interesting, too. Conspiracy? So that's what took my time. And by the time I looked up, I thought, I'm doing this. And I thought, I got plenty of time. I start at 9 o'clock. I looked up as soon as I posted that on my friend's page. Here's a link to this article, and here's where you can go look at the Federalist and blah, blah, blah. And I look up, and it's 9:03. So my apologies for being late. Audrey, how you doing? I saw that come in just before I got started. And Roger Rabbit, good to see you. Matt Finn, good to see you, brother. I hope you had a good week. Missed you some this week. And Bookworm, Kevin Miller, good to see you. Oh, I don't know if I was supposed to out you there. I think we've done that in the past. Field Guy, good to see you. Don't have a lot of food in the house till I go to the store with my mom working. She's not here to cook. I'm doomed. The 40-year-old virgin. That's Field Guy. Just giving you crap, Field Guy. Hey, Susie Q. Good to see you on this Sunday morning. And who else we got up over here? Blah, 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 blah. And by the way, I don't live and breathe politics. I just happened to see my friend's post. And I think it caught my eye because it was a Simpsons post. And it shows Bart Simpson looking all sad. And he says, finally, he says, an executive. Wait. What did it exactly say? I'll tell you what it said. It said, finally, no more kids in cages. And then it shows Homer putting his arm around him saying, finally, no more kids in cages on TV. So there you go. That's what that was all about. And that's what drew my attention this morning. By the way, if you're interested, go to the federalregister.gov. You can put in /documents if you want, but federalregister.gov. If you're ever interested in finding out paperwork, executive orders, all that stuff that's been done, it's all right there. You can find it. So let's see. Who else slipped in? Steph, good to see you this morning. Raini is still in bed. Hey, Scott Allen, good to see you this morning. So she's not with me right now. I don't know that she'll make it down or not. Now, she's got COVID now, like I had it a couple of weeks ago. And she's tough as nails, guys. Or COVID, I'm not even going to get into the politics of it. But she's had it. She's got the headache, the sinus thing. She feels run down, but she's still up. She's doing stuff all the time. And it's like I said the other day, I went out in the kitchen to go take the trash down to the street. That would have been Friday morning. And as I'm walking into the kitchen, she's coming in the door. I said, what are you doing outside? You're sick. She said, well, I had to bring the trash down to the street. I said, no, that's my job. You need your job. Sofa or bed, blankets, pillows, lay down. So that's the way she is. So she's been doing okay. Still knocks you over, bowls you over. Never said there's nothing to COVID. People keep coming at me when I say, hey, this is what happened. This is the COVID I had. This is how I'm doing. And they're all like, we can't believe that you're diminishing the harm of COVID and masks. And I said, not doing that. I just said, this is how I experienced it. Well, you must have had a lighter strain. It's that kind of thing. I said, no, the people who are dying from COVID are generally people who have other things going on, and it affects their bodies differently. Me, as you all know, and I've said here, I've got the trifecta. I'm 60, I have diabetes, and I have a heart disease. So boom, boom, boom. I was supposed to be the first one to die. So I got it, and it was like a bad cold for 2 weeks. So I'm not saying go out and get it. I've heard that I am now immune for anywhere from 90 days to I've seen stories up to 2 years. So we'll see. I can't pass it on, and I can't get it. So I'm good. So now I don't have to wear masks anymore. Raini's a mom. You think the coup would get her down? No, Matt. Nope, she's still mom's. Now she yells a lot more because of it. The kids, it's the little ones. Well, Flynn is not so bad. He's 11, but the little kids, have you noticed this, parents? That you can tell your kids, hey, mom or dad is not feeling well today. So here's your stuff. Just busy yourself with that stuff. Let me take a nap. But every 5 minutes, whether I'm in there or not, I'm in here in the studio or I'm in there, I hear the kids. The kids will walk right by me and go wake up mom laying there on the sofa. I'm like, hey, your mom's sleeping. What do you need? So, kids. Audrey had the one uncle that died from it and didn't have any other health issues. Sadly, COVID affects people. It does. It does, Audrey. It does. Why do you think they say it affects people with diabetes or heart disease, that they're more susceptible? It handles people differently. And I'm just glad I didn't die from it. So, did COVID take out Larry King? I'm sure it did. At least that's what the news will tell us. So, yeah, exactly, Matt. So, that's what's going on here. Hang on a second. I'm going to go open up my blinds over here because, I do my show in the evening, but so I make it look like the evening in here. Let's see if this brightens anything up in here. Boom. There we go. There. Drapes are opened. That do anything different? So look more sunshiny in here? No, not really. We got snow last night. We got 3 to 6 inches of snow. So I had to go out and because the snowplow comes to plow us out. We got to have our cars moved. And that's actually what woke me up at about 7:30 this morning. I thought, what am I hearing? This scraping sound. And it's the snowplow. The private companies that come and plow everybody's driveways out. So I got up and I was in my shorts and threw on my shoes and went out and started the vehicles and brushed all the snow off and drove them out onto the street, which had already been plowed by the city. So we're just waiting for the official local plow to come by. And, I don't mind snow. I just get tired of it after a while. I'm going to go live where there's not as much snow and ice. So, hey, Elvis, good to see you. I don't know if I've seen you in here before or not. Nice to have you. Elvis is in the room. So, let's see. What else we got going here this morning, folks? Hey, Sean Bowden. Good to see you this morning. And see, I got nothing. I'm an empty tank this morning. My brain is empty. I don't usually plan a lot of stuff for Sunday. We just talk. And it's funny, Raini's supposed to be in here with me every week, but I end up doing a lot more shows lately where she'll shamble in about halfway through, but that's okay. She needs to sleep in a little bit when she can. And all those kids still sleeping, but they're all up in our room. And so they're all still asleep upstairs, and I'm just going to leave it that way. Happy Taco Sunday, Audrey says. Well, I didn't know it was Taco Sunday. What makes it Taco Sunday, Audrey? And what else we got going on? I want to see who all is here. Oh, Suze from Australia was the very first one who commented it. She said, I'll probably fall asleep wishing you and Raini and crew members a return to 100% full health. Thanks, Suze. So, anyway, slow brain this morning. What do you guys got going today? This is a nice coffee Sunday morning wake up time. I've got my book that I've been reading, and where did it go? It's right here. This is a pretty good book. I'm going to recommend it again. I recommended it in one of the shows this week, but it's Matthew McConaughey's book, Green Lights. Now, I'm not big on pushing celebrities, memoir type of books and Hollywood stuff and stuff like this. This seems like Oprah fare at first glance, but I had heard a lot about it, that it was a good book, and that it was written a little differently and very smartly. And so I started reading, and I read you a section of it on the show the other night. Thursday night, I think it was. Might have been Friday. And I found this book to be very well written and very well done. So you want to get a good book, Matthew McConaughey, Green Lights, and it's all about his memoirs. And you think, why should somebody write their memoirs when they're not dead? Well, it's for that reason. They're still alive and they can remember stuff. I think if you write a memoir at age 28, that's probably a little too soon, unless you've lived an incredibly full life up until 28 years old. Matthew McConaughey at 50. 50 is a pretty good age to write your memoirs if you got something going on. I think I could write memoirs right now. I'm 60. I'm not dead. But I like what he said about his journals and his diaries and his memoirs and things like that he kept through his life. I've tried that on several occasions. Could I find, if I needed to, any of those memoirs or journals or diaries that I had written? No, they're all long gone. About the only thing that has been the consistent journal of my experience in my life has been this show, doing radio, all the archived shows. If my kids ever wanted to, 50 years from now, my grandkids wanted to start, which I don't have any yet, wanted to sift through all my stuff, they'd be stuck listening to hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of hours of radio shows. Some of them, as you all know so well, the shows are just lessons. We're teaching, we're learning things. Others of them are stages of my life, different things I've gone through, my personal experiences. And so you'll find a lot of that in all of my recordings, as many of you know so well. And but can I find anything in writing? Very little. Maybe some articles I've written and things like that. When I wrote the article on the humanity, and I've read it on this show before. Wrote that article back maybe 11 years ago. All about my positioning on things. Why I am not a strict conservative and things like that. And it wasn't a political article. It was about why I come to the decisions in life I come to. And that articles like that serve as memoirs. My books are filled with, really, they become in part inclusive of my journals of life. And when I write about the Nephilim in the opening salvo in the book on the Nephilim, I spent far too many nights with my hands crossed behind my head, laying on the top of my mother's garage, looking into the stars and dreaming of being a starship captain. So, and all of those things running from, you've heard me tell the story of being deathly afraid of the dark as a kid. And when I was in like 3rd or 4th grade, I had a paper route and we had to drag on Sunday mornings, those big yellow metal carts, 2-wheeled carts that you could hook them up to your bikes or you can just walk with them. There's a big handle on them. And you'd put all the big the thick Sunday papers all stacked up in there. And I would run with those carts in the dark on the early Sunday morning hours from street lamp to street lamp. Yellow incandescent gold circle to yellow incandescent gold circle, because I was afraid of the dark. I was afraid it was going to pop out of the bushes and suck the blood out of me or eat me alive. So, but those are all journals of who I was. How about you guys? What do you do for, do you keep, maybe it's funny and a little weird if you go, "Dear diary," I have a diary. And I address my diary as another person. "Dear diary, you wouldn't believe what I did today." Do you have diaries like that? Do you have journals? Do you have things that you do, the places where you write things down about your life? Hang on. This light is searing me this morning. There we go. And so what do you do? Hey, Carly Sagan. Good to see you. Who else was here? OGD Pearlygate. That's got to be Delaney. OGD Pearlygates Jackson. Is that you, Delaney? I might be wrong. So, let's see. I found a journal. I had a journal, but then I got robbed and they stole it. Oh. Why would somebody want to steal your journals unless it's a conspiracy theory and they were there to actually get your journals and they made the rest of it look like a robbery? Maybe that's a possibility, Steph. So, whenever I wrote in my journal as a kid, I kept in mind that people in the future might read them. So I didn't write the embarrassing stuff. So says Bookworm Kevin. Well, you know what, Kevin, wasn't it Mark Twain who said, and this is a very rough paraphrase, he said something about, "There isn't a man who exists who could write an honest autobiography because he would always leave out the parts that make him look bad." And isn't that the truth? Whoa, excuse me. That just kind of snuck up on me. So that's the truth, Kevin Miller. Yeah, how many of us would sit down and write the embarrassing things of our life? So when you read anybody's autobiography, are you actually getting all the stuff about their life that you like? I like the nitty gritty. I want to learn more about you, the darker corners, the things that you did, how you overcame those things. Field guy, "Dear diary, I pooped my pants today. People reads this in future and laughs. Or they go, or they brush it off, field guy, that's just you. So Elvis says Rona. That's in reference to something, I'm sure. Which I'm still stuffy. You can still hear it in my voice. I have overcome the Rona. It did not overcome me. Now, it's not saying that it can't. It's saying it didn't. So, thank you, Audrey. My shadow side would get me in so much trouble, says Steph. You and me both. We all have. I've had people say flippantly to me, "Oh, you ought to run for office." I'm like, no. In truth, I would run from office. If I ran for office, all my deep, dark secrets would come out. I'd see secrets, I'm sure, about me where I'd go, I did that? I don't remember that. So, we had getting robbed does suck, Matt and Steph. We used to live on the east side of St. Paul in the residential area, still inner city in St. Paul proper, but it was the inner city suburbs, so to speak. And we lived next door to a couple I affectionately started calling Nut and Bolt. They lived to the east of us, and there was a big privacy fence between our houses. But we had a series of burglaries in our house. And this is way back in the 90s. Between 1995 and 1997, we had 6 burglaries in our house. And the telltale signs was that it was all the same people doing it. And I remember there was one day I even left my garage door open. Not because I did that as a habit, but I had left the garage door open. I had the lights on. I was working out in the garage, and I went in to eat dinner or something. I came back out, and somebody had stolen my snowblower out of my garage. Things like that. I counted that. But there was a big burglary in my house where we found that there was a bunch of stuff. There was about $6,000 worth of items taken, from televisions to at the time stereo components. You're talking the mid 90s. Stereo components, VCRs. Our car was even stolen. The keys were in a cup on top of the piano. And somebody took the keys out of there and stole our car. Our car was missing for 3 days, and they finally found it. So we had quite a bit of stuff taken. And I remember that it was there was a side door to the house that went to the east side. And there was about a half inch of snow on the ground. And there were tracks going back and forth between their gate next door and our back door. Back and forth, muddy tracks. So when you get about that much snow, what's going to happen? You keep trudging over that, you're going to create water and mud. And then we also found a wire snips fallen in the snow on their side of the property line. And so we got all this, and the cops came over. It was a Sunday morning, and they said, well, there's not enough evidence to go knock on their door. Well, I said, well, I insist that you go knock on their door. And they went and knocked. Nobody answered, of course. And but they were there because as soon as the cops left, they let their dog out into the backyard. And so this went on for a while. And the kid who lived there, 13-year-old kid, he and I had kind of hit it off, and it was a few months later. It was into the spring, and he told me, that burglary, he says, all your stuff was sitting in our living room for about 3 weeks before we could sneak it all out of the house bit by bit. And he says, when the cops came knocking on the door, all your stuff was sitting right there. And so it never got resolved on a legal side. But then I saw the guy who lives there, and he was out walking his big German Shepherd on the boulevard out at the end of our street, the big long boulevard out there. and I saw him, and I pulled over, and I can't remember his name, Dale or something like that. And I said, "Hey, Dale." And I confronted him. I walked around the car, and I came up to the curb, and he's standing with his dog. And I said, "I just want you to know something. I want you to know that I know that you know I know you robbed the shit out of my house." I said, "So," and he starts fumbling, and I go, "No, no, 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 no." I said, "I'm not looking for any excuses or explanations or defenses." I said, "The reason I said that way is," I said, "let's get that out of the way. We already know, don't we? You and I know you did it." I said, "So let's just take that and put it over here." I said, "Now," I said, "a less gracious man would say, I will find a way to make sure you go to jail." I said, "However, I will tell you this." I said, "If my stuff starts showing up bit by bit, or if I say, 'Oh, look, you came over and trimmed my hedges.' Why, thank you very much, Dale. I appreciate that. Or if you mow my grass or paint the side of my house, whatever it is." I said, "I start seeing you making an effort to show me that you are willing to take accountability for what you did." I said, "Then I'll accept that, and things will be square between us." And there was one thing that had been missing, and I said, "I'm going to tell you this. There's one item. Everything else is replaceable." I said, "There's one item. My dad had carved me a tomahawk, and actually did a bronze axe head on it that was all put together. It was a big peace pipe." And I said, "That was hanging on the wall." I said, that is one thing that was a personal item of mine, of my dad's, that he made." And he said, "I want to see that come back." And so I left him with that. I said, "There you go. See you, Dale. Take it to heart." I said, "Oh, I will tell you what." I said, "If you don't start doing, I will make your life a miserable piece of hell in this neighborhood." So, he started doing some things, which was interesting. Then one day, a couple months later, I open up the front door, and there is a plastic bag all wrapped up, and I open it up, and it's the tomahawk of my dad's sitting on the front step. And so I saw him later that day, and I gave him a nod. I said, "Thank you." He nodded back. Now, and nothing really ever resolved with these people. They were still idiots. They were drugs, all of that stuff. And I think eventually they lost that house, but because of their problems. But that was when we had first moved out to the ranch. Was right after that. Well, no, 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 no. There's the other story that I've told before, so I won't go into it deep. But I actually caught somebody in the process of burglarizing my house, and I had heard somebody downstairs, heard the sliding glass door. It's like 5 in the morning on a Sunday. And I say to my wife, I said, "Somebody's in the house." And I jumped up. I don't have a stitch of clothing on. I run downstairs. I had left my jeans hanging on the hook at the bottom of the steps. And I threw those on. So here I am. I'm bare-chested and barefoot. And it's November 1st. So it's a day after Halloween. And I go running to the sliding door onto the back deck, and I step out on the back deck, and I immediately look to Nut and Bolt's house next door, looking for them. And then I see somebody move over there in the corner of my eye, and way off in between the garages going out to the alley, and then the corner house across the alley from us, the corner on the opposite corner, I see some guy in a big trench coat, and he's wearing my hat. It's this hat right here. Hold on. He's got on top of his head, he's wearing this hat. Now, this is back in 1997 when this took place. So this had this hat for a long time. But there you go. Let's see. Let's get it on the right way. Goes, kind of like that. My Scottish bonnet with the big feathers in it. Boom. And So he's got that hat on his head. And here I am. I'm running out I'm shirtless. It's chilly outside. There's no snow on the ground. And I yell at him. I go, "Hey!" And he turns and I go, "You're wearing my hat." And I want it back. And he starts to run and I chase him and I grab the tail of his coat and I yanked him forward or backward. And then he's reaching in his coat. I'm thinking, oh, he's got a gun or a knife or something. So I grabbed one of his wrists and I grabbed him by the throat and I twisted him around and threw him to the ground and tackled him. And we ended up rolling down into the gutter. And that's where if you remember the story, if you were here for that, I sat on top of him and I held him by the throat and he goes, "I can't breathe." And I go, "That's the effing point." And I'm tapping on his chest. You know how the bullies did in recess? Boom, boom, boom. And I go, "You bad guys, I'm so sick of you bad guys stealing my stuff." I said, "You are going to jail." And I was pissed off. And so as I'm doing that, that's when the cops ran up and they're like, off. And they've got like mace. They don't have guns out, just mace and stuff. And they arrest the guy. So they got him cuffed. And he's bare chested out because they pulled everything down on him. And they're emptying his pockets. And there's about $1,200 worth of little stuff he's got stuffed in his pockets. He's got some of our bills in his pockets. He's got my wallet, which I had left sitting on the bookshelf. He's got a digital camera. And it's a 97. It was one of those, 1 megapixel digital cameras from Casio. But he's got that in his pocket. He's got a bunch of other stuff. And they had it all laid out on the hood of the squad car. And there were about 6 squad cars, by the way. It had all converged because it was a live thing. My wife had called 911 and said, "My husband's chasing him down right now." And so like 6 squad cars, boom, boom, boom. So they got all my stuff laid out and they took pictures of it. And some of it they asked if they could take for evidence. I said, "Sure." So they arrested him. And then the guy I had tackled, he's yelling at me, "Fuck you," and this and that. And I'm like, "Shut up, go to jail." So, Sean, I thought about it, but I wasn't sure if he was going to bite or not. So no, I did not teabag the criminal. So, I was almost naked, Sean. He had my valuable pheasant feather hat, my Scottish hat. So, here's the upshot to that story. We're in my neighbor's yard, and as all the squad cars, my neighbor comes out and he's kind of rubbing his eyes. He goes, "Wow, what do you guys do to my yard this so early in the morning?" He goes, "Never a dull moment." And so I'm regaling him with the story, and the cops are all still there. And so he said, "Let's go out for breakfast." So we went and got dressed, and we went out for breakfast with them. And it's about 11 in the morning by the time we're coming back home, and I get a call. Now, this is pre-cell phone days. Can you imagine that? We get home, and there's a message on our answering machine from the sergeant, the desk sergeant or something, and they've got this guy in custody, and they let him go. Do you know why they let him go? I know I've told this story before. Maybe you all don't remember this, or maybe you weren't here for this story. You know why they let him go? Because he claimed that we were all in a big sexual three-way, and that I got mad at him, and so he took off, but he shoved a bunch of stuff in his pockets on the way out the door. And this is the story the cops gave me. So I said, "Excuse me." I said, wait. Stop right there, Sergeant. I said, "And you let him go for this bit of cock and bull story?" And the response he gave me, the technical victim in this, he goes, "Well, Mr. Roberts, it sounds like you're getting hostile, so I'm going to end this call." You're going to take it up with the blah, blah, blah on Monday. This was a Sunday morning. And I said, hostile? I said, you're not hearing hostile. I said, that's just the sound of my jaw dropping to the floor. Well, I'm going to end this call now. And so he ends the call. Yeah, exactly, field guy. And it just so happened. Now, this might jog some of your memory about my having told this story before. Just so happened that afternoon that Norm Coleman was running for Senate for the state of Minnesota. And he was holding a little mini rally about 2 blocks from our house at the Electricians Union building. And I said, at the time, he was I can't remember. I think he was the governor of the state at the time, Governor Coleman. And he was either the governor or he was one of our senators, and he was running for governor, or he was the governor and he's running for Senate. Can't remember which. 1997. So I go down there with let me think about this for a second. No, it was Saturday morning that the burglary had taken place. So this was Sunday morning now, and there was a story in the newspaper. They'd written a big story about it. It was Joe Souchere, any of those of you from the Minneapolis, St. Paul area, big sports writer who also wrote on commentary about Minneapolis life, St. Paul, Twin Cities life. And he also had a big radio show, still does, I think. And he called me up on Saturday afternoon, and he says, I just got this came across my desk. He said, I'd like to write a story about it for Sunday morning. And I told him the story, and his response was, you got to be shitting me. So he wrote this story, and it appeared in the Sunday paper. So we went down on Sunday to meet Norm Coleman, and I brought the paper. I said, have you seen this article? He says, yeah, I saw that. And I said, that's me. This is the guy. And I said, they let him go. And he goes, oh, man. He says, I'll make sure we look into this on Monday morning. So come Monday, I got Joe Souchere, who wrote the article and does the radio show in the afternoons. He says, will you come on the show today and talk about this? I said, I'd love to. And so we talked about it. Norm Coleman, the governor of the state, calls into the show and says, Scott, he's from New York. Scott, I got this article in front of me. And he says, I'm going to take care of this. I promise you, we're going to take care of this. And so it was pretty cool. And apparently the assistant district attorney who had okayed the release of this guy, she took a vacation after that show for 2 weeks, just disappeared. Impromptu vacation. Her office was bombarded over this thing. And so shorten the end of the story, that's what happened. This guy named Ronnie Epps was his name, the burglar. They let him go. He sat in jail, though. They rearrested him. He sat in jail for 4 months because he kept pushing out and continuing his trial on this. And by the time it got to trial, I was informed that I could come in and make a statement for the judge to make her decision on what to do with Ronnie Epps. Well, she was going to release him for his time served, even though he got 4 free months in jail. Kept pushing it out, and that's enough time for what he's done. Okay. And I said, well, can I give you my story? And she would not let me read my prepared statement. She saw it. I see it here. She said, I don't need to enter this into the record. And I said, it's a good thing I memorized it then. These are my words. And I talked, and she warned me when I was done that she could hold me in contempt for having done that. I said, am I not the victim in the case? And do I not have a right to state my... And apparently, no, I did not. Then she told me to sit down, and she went on to release Ronnie Epps into the public. So now by the way, his record, he had a record of at least 24 arrests for similar things, 0 convictions ever. Why? Why, you may ask? They kept releasing him because they said that there is Oh, he didn't, he doesn't have anything else on his record. Then after a few of those, it was like, well, time served. Oh, well, this and that. He never had a conviction on his record. So, yeah, it was infuriating, Susie Q. That's the way it works. Justice is blind, says Field Guy. Yeah, that's for sure. So why don't you guys sit there for a minute? It is now 9:46. I'm going to go warm up my coffee, and I'll be back in about a minute. So you guys sit tight, talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. Oh, hi. Good morning. How are you feeling? Yikes. Hey, guys. Excuse me. Bless you. All right, folks, I'm back. Got some warm coffee. There we are. Whew. The driveway has been plowed. I pulled all the cars out. Remember I told you earlier? That's been done. So I can pull those back in a bit. I have warm coffee. My wife is awake. Not feeling very awake today. So, Elvis Scotty has left the building, but I'm back. But I recovered. And the kids are up. Everybody but Flynn. Flynn, who likes to stay up till all ungodly hours. And if he's not watching TV, at least he's reading, which is kind of cool. So, glad my son likes to read. If your kids like to read, encourage that. Encourage your kids to read if they don't read. It's a good thing for them to do. Read to them, and it will encourage them to read. So, warm coffee is good. Why, thank you, Carly. It's good to see you, too. Yeah, we're getting better and better. It's still, yesterday was a lazy day. I lounged in bed with Raini till at least noon with the TV on, and we're just in and out of sleep, dozing. Kids kind of left us alone.
That was 1 o'clock, not noon.
1 o'clock, not noon, Raini corrected me. So sometime in that hour, it was noon Mountain Time. So that was yesterday. And today, I woke up feeling like I need a nap. So reading to Kinsey's made her memorize countless books. Yeah, reading to our kids. I love reading to my kids. And my kids don't always want to be read to these days, but I love doing it. If you like to drink whatever fits your fancy out of the same mug our beloved captain has, you can obtain one at etsy.com/shop/son-of-a-patriot. Yes, thank you, Master Finn. There is my Intrepid Radio mug. And boldly going, it says. There you go. It's hard to see with the reflection. But boldly going, which was the tagline for Intrepid magazine back when we launched that in 2011. So that's where Intrepid Radio came from. Paul from Newcastle. You fell asleep about 10 times yesterday. One of those kind of days, huh? Yeah. Then I'd come down, I'd think I'm fully awake, I'm doing stuff. I sit on the sofa with the kids and we're watching something on TV and some dinosaur show, and I doze off. So it's like I'm dozy Sally these days. And probably just the hangover from the whole COVID thing. Carly, you tell Kinsey I say hi right back. Hey, Kinsey. Nice to see you. Let's see. Roger Roberts says, the print on that mug looks very vibrant compared to the reptilians ones. Yeah, it is. And even this one, printed dark. Not supposed to look that dark, but it did. I revised the art on the Etsy site. I put up a new piece of art since I got this mug, which brightened it up because it's actually supposed to be blues. And you can kind of see it there. Blue in the background with the starry background. The midnighty blue color. So there you go. So yeah, you can get that mug. You can get the shirt with that stuff on it too. You can get all the other cool stuff that's over there. I'm glad Kinsey's happy today. Glad you're there, Kinsey. Nice to see you. And let's see. I don't know if Raini's going to wander in here at all today or not. If she does, we'll see her. She was brushing her hair, so maybe. Let's see. Alan, good to see you. Oh, Alien Answer, good to see you. Nice to see you here this morning. And Beth Kirkham, always nice to see you. Cloudy and cold, same there. So for those of you who are new to the Sunday show, Monday through Fridays, Intrepid Radio. And we're a little more formal Monday through Friday. Sunday ends up being very casual. I don't usually come in with a grave topic on my mind. I used to do a little more readings on tarot readings on Sunday morning. And we kind of set those aside where I think we're going to kind of leave that for memberships and things like that. We'll do more of those eventually. I see my wife is strolling in, my COVID wife. There she is. Here she comes. Hey, guys, you can turn that off even if you want. Look at that. There. It's not too bright, is it?
It is. It's hard to keep my eyes open.
See, if I turn that off, what would happen?
Oh,
boom. Not so bad.
Still can't open my eyes.
I just got the one light on, or it'd be total dark in here. So, there's Raini.
Good morning.
We both have had COVID. I'm now over mine, or as over mine, I suppose, as I can get. And at least I'm not infectious anymore, and I can't re-catch it. And still a little stuffy, like a cold. And there's Raini. Susie Q says, feel better.
Thank you.
Dang, Raini, you're looking good for having COVID, says Roger Rabbit.
Right? Thanks. I can't, and not keeping my eyes open. It's really bright over
You know, that's one thing I noticed when I had COVID last couple of weeks. There were days in that first week where all lights, any lights, were like, oh my God. It's like my eyes felt fried. So, what can I do for you today?
Not much.
Not much. Feeling any better than yesterday? Or worse?
I'm more tired right now, and it's hard to keep my eyes open. And then
yeah,
with the lights, it's even harder to keep my eyes open.
Yeah, get your sunglasses. You're a rock star.
Yeah.
Hey now, you're a rock star. You're a blah blah la 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 la. However the lyrics go in that song from Shrek. Yeah.
In my ears, thanks.
She's still sussy. Oops. So, as you can see, newcomers to this show on Sunday, this tends to be a lot less formal on Sunday mornings. And
yeah, I'm in my pajamas.
Raini's in her pajamas.
And I haven't brushed my teeth yet.
I haven't brushed mine yet either. You know, I had grapes last night while we were watching TV. We're watching a great series set in New York City in the late 1800s. Kind of Gangs of New York time. And it's called The Alienist. Now, that's if any of you have seen that series, you'll know what it's about. But it has Dakota Fanning is in it. And a couple of actors you recognize. The one guy I recognize, I cannot remember the name of the actor. You've seen him. He was in the Hobbit movie. He was the guy who had the spear that speared the dragon finally, shot it with a harpoon. I've seen him in other things. Knives Out or something. Was he in that one? I don't know. You've seen him all the time. He's everywhere. Good looking actor. But he was in it. But it was all set around. It's very dark and very gritty. About a series of murders in the first season, and now it's baby murders in the second season. There you go. Hey now. You're a rock star.
I don't have to yell in my ear. Wow.
He played Gaston. Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. He was Gaston. Steph, you know what I'm talking about. Luke.
And it's Gaston, not Gaston.
I'm especially good at expectorating. There's Ellie climbing, my little monkey.
Want to tell him your story?
What's your story? Can't see your head.
You got it. You got to sit down a little.
There you are. What's your story today?
Stitches done.
Oh, show them.
Hold it up there.
Hold it up so people can see it. Stitches. Does this hurt?
Here, let me see it.
No hitting in the face. Even for fun.
Doesn't look so red today. That's good.
That's good. Yeah, she
You want to tell him your story?
You want to tell the story of how it happened?
You.
What happened?
Dad's going to tell it.
I can tell it.
Dad's
She was
kinda
out
telling it.
gonna cut some vegetables for a soup with Mom a few days ago, and I think I mentioned this on the radio show, but she had the big new, Raini just got us a big new set of kitchen knives, and very sharp. And so she's got a potato out, and Mom's cutting carrots.
Well, Ellie was supposed to be cutting carrots, and she decided she wanted to cut the potato.
Yeah, cut the potato.
And I tried a couple of times to be like, here, cut the carrots. And she wanted to cut that potato. And the potato, what happened to the potato?
Slipped up, then I cut myself.
Yep, and slipped, and she cut her hand.
Yep. And so she had to go get stitches. Show them those stitches one more time. Look at that. Stitches. Only 3 of them. So you'll have a nice scar there. When you're Mom's age, you can tell your kids, and this is what happened when I cut potatoes with the sharp knife.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Excuse me?
While you were making soup for your daddy who had COVID.
Yeah, I had COVID, and she was making soup. So she survived. She came in. They came right in from the emergency room. About an hour later. You were home within the hour.
In and out within an hour. It was nice.
And she came running in, yelling, and she goes, "Hey, Dad, look!" And she rips off the bandage. She goes, "I got stitches." So there you go.
Up.
No.
What's
stop
the
with
shut up about? I'm just telling your story. Watch where you put your feet. So, dudes dig scars, says Matt Finn. So when you get older, dudes, you know what I want to do to that neck right there? I just want to nibble on it. That funny, cute little neck.
This one right
Yeah,
here.
that one right there, along with the armpit that goes over here. The armpit.
Save you.
So, yeah, she's a
save you,
badass,
I'll
just
save
like her
you.
mom. So, I don't know that we were actually anywhere at all talking about anything in particular.
Yeah.
But, a good series. You want to watch a good series? Yeah, watch it. The Alienist. Alienist is actually, and those of you, Steph, you've probably seen it. Some of you may have seen it. It's the old word for really the psychotherapists, the psychologists, those that dug into, they said that the term came from people who acted in ways that was alien to human nature. And so when you would dig into somebody's psyche or psychoanalyze them, you were an alienist. And so they referred to it as that in the very early days of psychology. And so good series if you want to see that. Steph said, "Oh, I did that a few years ago. Went right to my bone on my pointer finger because the butcher knife was falling, and it was so sharp, and my dog was underneath, and I would have been impaled. So you sacrificed and gave yourself. How altruistic of you, Steph." And yeah, hers was pretty deep. I was surprised at how deep it was because Raini came and showed me, and it even stopped bleeding. But just within a minute of it happening, I mean, you had to put pressure on it and everything, but you're looking at it and it was this big gash where you saw all the skin and all the junk underneath the skin and almost to the bone. So it was pretty crazy.
It's on my Facebook if you want to see the picture.
Yeah, pictures on Raini's
check it
Facebook.
out.
Check it. So that was the excitement this week. Can Mom have her sunglasses back? Because she's having a real. Can you go find her another pair? She's having a rough time with the lights today. Yeah, there you go. Goink.
I'm shoving it in my ear holes.
You did. Okay, I'm gonna send you out. You can go watch your shows.
You go run the red carpet.
Do you have something to contribute to the show? Or you just want to sit here?
Just want snuggles.
Just want to sit here and snuggle Mom.
Because she slept next to Rowan most of last night, huh?
Yeah.
What? It's what?
Resting and probably sleeping. So yeah, we laugh about it now, Steph. That's for sure. But your dog was okay. Hey, Barry, good to see you. Nice to have you here this morning. Anybody else slip in that I missed? That's the beauty of these Sunday morning and these live shows, these non-show shows. We can be a little casual. Say hey. Don't move too much. I got hot coffee. So what else? Are you going back to school tomorrow?
No.
Or do you have to be?
She can't go back to school. With the way the county lady says it, it's 10 days after the last person's symptoms. They're not going to be able to go back to school now until like February 10th.
Yeah, that sucks.
Are me and Rowan
Kids are home till February 10th because of us having COVID.
If I take them and get them tested and they become positive, then Ellie can go back sooner than Rowan. But Rowan only ever got congested, and I don't know when she got congested. So she tested positive. I don't even know. It's all dumb, but I'm pretty sure Ellie
trying to mimic
had it.
Your mom?
Had it between me and Scotty having it.
All right. So let's see. I'm just looking at what you guys are bringing to the table this morning. The nibbling on kids reminds me of the Addams Family line where they say, "Oh, no, far too young. Oh, no, far too young." I don't remember the line, Matt. And there's probably something in translation there I'm missing. So, all right, now
silly.
You're being distracting, silly. So you can go watch your show. Go out with sister, watch your show.
Do you want to go back to school or are you going to stay home forever?
Where are you going?
Until you become a lunch lady.
Oh, lunch lady. I filled out an application to be a lunch lady. She's super excited.
Yeah, you should be a lunch lady at the high school. All the high schools are going to be like,
I have to.
Good morning, Mrs. Roberts.
First.
I would like to have had a lunch lady that looked like my wife when I was in school. They were all old bats, kind of, when I was in school, you know. Old Germanic Brunhilde types. You know, those types. So, I'm just looking at things that you guys are saying. Someone only wants mommy. That's true, Carly. That's the truth.
Mommy?
My hand's in the middle of that, you know. I am unwittingly touching my wife's breast because my hand is stuck between my child and my wife. See? So.
Get out.
What do you mean, get out? It's my chair.
Don't touch my Ellery, Daddy. Don't.
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get out.
Tickle Dad's armpit.
Yeah, the old 70-year-old chain smoking. That was the great thing, was looking at the cooks. The cooks in the kitchen, you know, and they'd be presenting the food. They were always in white with the white aprons, and they had the the big white latex gloves, but it was pre-latex gloves like we have them now. So they were like plastic gloves and hair nets. And I remember one, she was about as tall as she was wide. She looked like the mom of the bad guys in the Goonies. Remember her? And she yelled at those boys, "You're my boys," and that's what the lunch ladies all looked like, and the cooks and it's like, "Yes, please, I'll have another piece of bread with butter." You know how when you were home, when you were a kid, bread with butter on it was like, I'm gonna do that. Ew, that's not a snack. But when you were at school, it was like that was a prize. I can go back and get more bread and butter. So no, put that away. Thank you. You know why we have to be so emphatic about that?
Because I can color
Because
my
somebody
hair.
said she was going to cut Mom's hair the other day and actually took a scissors and cut a big long piece of Raini's hair off. It's only about that wide and a quarter of an inch,
cut
but
off
it was
a ton of it.
It was a chunk. Let's see. Can you see it?
I don't even know. It's weird hair because I haven't washed or really brushed it.
It's in there somewhere.
It's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
This side?
So when she pulls out the Sharpie, you have to be very emphatic.
It was a piece probably about that long, and it was a big chunk. Maybe about a chunk about that big.
All right. It's time to start chopping for a crockpot chicken noodle.
You got to get down.
Says Matt Finn. Yeah, you got to go.
My legs are hurting. You're squishing my legs.
Down. You got to go do your own thing out there with people your own age.
Go make me scrambled eggs, would you?
See ya.
Bye. Scrambled eggs for breakfast.
So long. Sayonara.
I don't know how to put
Ciao,
the stove on.
mon ami.
Well, you get the eggs already, and then I'll come turn the stove on.
Borada.
Rowan knows how to turn the stove on.
All right. I wish I had sunglasses that were cool like yours.
Well, here, let me make you some.
Yeah, would you? So my mom packed our lunches, says Beth. I don't remember the lunch ladies at all. Yeah, we always had hot lunch at school. And we were poor. Our family was poor. We didn't know it. And we got free hot lunches. But we always got hot lunch. The segmented trays and, pizza burgers. That was always the big day. Pizza burgers. You know what pizza burgers were? It was like buns, like hamburger buns. And a half of a hamburger bun with this concoction of
sauce and cheese
and meat, pseudo meat,
Gross.
All mixed together. And then I think they just warmed them all in the oven. And so you got pizza burgers. Well, I'll take 2, please. Or you wanted to go back for seconds on that. So I don't recall ever eating in the cafeteria at school, says Audrey. Oh. Missing out.
Well, this year for our kids' school, everybody gets free lunches.
Oh.
Because of COVID.
No, that's right. COVID free lunch.
And then during last year.
Shh. Quiet.
During last
You're probably
year,
watching a Spanish show. That's why.
When they closed the schools out, you could go and pick up a week's worth of lunch for each kid, whether you had free lunch or not free lunch. So that was kind of nice.
Our TV's talking Spanish.
That's because somebody put on the Spanish one. So go turn the video off.
Our TV's talking Spanish. It's speaking in tongues. So, pizza burger. Yeah, Roger. Government meat patty, government sauce, government cheese, and government bread. That's pretty much it.
Gross.
And that was in the late 60s, early 70s, hot lunch. We didn't bring bag lunch until I went to the private school because they didn't make lunch. So it was whatever I made for lunch because Mom wasn't getting up to make me a bag lunch. You want lunch? I brought you the supplies. I bought the supplies. You go ahead and make whatever you want out of those supplies. So, are you tired?
I'm tired. I feel it. I feel it in my chest too. So it makes me extra tired.
Yeah. So, folks, we're not going to go super long this morning. Neither of us really have brains to be doing much this morning other than vegetating. And There's a couple of things I was going to show you. Oh, did any of you ever see the series? And I ask Audrey this specifically because I know this is your kind of show. But do you remember the Dresden Files when that was on? We used to watch the X-Files, and then the Dresden Files came out a few years after the X-Files ended. And it was about Harry Dresden living in Chicago. He was a modern-day wizard. He just had a storefront in Chicago, like a detective agency type of thing. But he was actually a wizard. And it came from a series of books by, I just happened to find the first one in paperback, even though I've got a few of them in hardback. But Jim Butcher is the author. And Stormfront was the first. This is the first novel in the Dresden series. And I want to start reading these. And so if you've ever seen the Dresden Files, if you haven't, I think, did it last more than one season?
I thought it was a couple seasons.
Might have been 2 seasons. You can still go see the Dresden Files on Netflix or something like that. I've got a couple of the hardbacks down here, but see if I can take one out without disrupting my whole pile. So this is kind of the look he had. The kids have the TV blasting out there, but let's see if I can get that without the $4.97 at Half Price Books. This was a used book, but Harry Dresden, and he had a hockey stick. That was his big staff, at least in the TV show. But downtown Chicago, he worked with this hot chick from a captain with the detective with the Chicago police, solving crimes and other stuff. And then, of course, they got deeper and deeper and deeper into the mythology. But Jim Butcher wrote all these books, and there's a whole series of these books. And but you can go watch the series. You know, it had things, werewolves, vampires, weird witchy stuff, and all of that was all part of the Dresden Files. Beth Kirkham says, looks familiar. It was a good series. It was fun. Go on to Netflix or Amazon somewhere. You can find the whole series, the Dresden Files. So, dog's being sworn at. What'd the dog do?
She tripped me, and then it made me trip over my own leg, and I twisted my hip, so now my ass hurts.
Dumb dog, shut up.
Stupid dog. She's all hyper too. Like,
she's hyper and wants to play. Little Lucy fur.
Yeah, Ding Dong McButthead.
pretty much.
Oh.
What? And then she comes over. She gets all feisty, and she comes over if we ignore her. And she starts humping Raini's leg.
Yeah,
Stop humping Mom. That's my job. Let's see. Check that out, says Beth. Butcher. I don't even know her. that reminds you of Mike Myers from So I Married an Axe Murderer, and he plays his own Scottish dad. And Mike Myers brings home his girlfriend to meet his folks, and she asks him, so what do you do for a living? He goes, I'm a butcher. And she goes, excuse me? He goes, I'm a butcher. You know, I cut up meat. I'm a butcher. So, Special Unit 2. I don't know if I remember that one, Morgan. And good morning to you, by the way, Morgan. Good to see you.
Move on. Move.
Let's see. Oh, Delaney is here too. Oh, I did see you earlier. That was your name. I send Black Pearl healing to you all. Thank you, Delaney. I appreciate that. Planetary blast. All right. So what else we got going here? My lunch money usually bought some beer after school, said Sean. Nice. Oh, you laugh like that's something you did.
No. I didn't have to buy my own beer. I just had to go to the liquor cabinet and get it.
Raini never had to buy beer. She always had somebody who would buy beer for her. So I believe that. I remember, it's not an embarrassing story. It's a funny story. Back before I was dating Raini, but she used to come to Scotch and Cookies on Thursday nights. And we're all holding Scotch and Cookies, a bunch of us. And she comes in a little later, and she's dressed stunningly. heaving cleavage and some kind of, bustier thing and or corset or bustier. What do you call it?
There was no corset or bustier. It was just
okay. She just had great
a
cleavage.
V-neck shirt, a V-neck tank top.
There you go. V-neck tank top underneath her black short sleeve sweater. And she came in and she was slightly lit. And she said some guy who said he was a brain surgeon or something.
Yeah. No, he was just a doctor. I was supposed to go on a date with the doctor.
And he would meet her at, was it Moscow on the Hill?
Moscow on the Hill.
Moscow on the Hill. It's the Russian place where they make all their own vodkas or vodkas. And so Raini comes traipsing in and she's looking absolutely stunning, but slightly lit.
A little bit.
And this is about a year before we started dating. So this is back in 2004. And so you were what, 24? Probably 24 years old at the time. She comes in and she goes, I had this blind date with a guy I met online, and he was a surgeon or a brain surgeon or a doctor or something like that. And she goes, so I sat there having a couple of vodkas and he never showed up. So the guy was either fake or she was worried that he must have seen me and not like me. And we're like, I think it was Ken and I were hovering over your cleavage. And we were like, oh, no. It's not that you didn't look good. The guy probably is a jerk. Probably was fake. And so we're trying to build her all up and all that. So
yeah, I had 6 shots of vodka before I left.
Before you even went?
Before I left
before you left the bar.
Before I left the bar to come over. The bartender was like, here, have some vodka. Oh,
here, have some more vodka.
Have another shot. And it was homemade cherry vodka. It was really good.
He knew that she was being stood up, so he was treating her nice.
And I know there was 6 shots of vodka. And I wasn't feeling anything, so I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna go to Scotch and Cookies. And I drove and I was fine. I felt fine driving.
Yeah.
And I got out of I drove a minivan. I got out of my minivan at Scotty's house and was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I was like, first foot out of the van and I was drunk as shit. It was bad.
She was pretty lit.
Mm-hmm.
And so we kept her there for a while. I kept her around.
I think I actually spent the night, didn't I?
You may have slept on the sofa that night.
Yeah.
Yep.
That
was before we were dating.
I think there was one point
where I would have preferred her in my bed.
I don't think
Get
I
in
feel
this
good.
bed.
Are you okay if I lay down? And you said yeah, and I think I laid down and passed out.
Yeah, you passed out, and I think you got up probably before dawn and were with it, and you took off.
Yeah.
But a French model doctor to boot. I missed something in there.
French model doctor.
Let's see. Amazon
yeah,
Prime is Dresden Files TV series. Thank you, Audrey. Amazon Prime has the Dresden Files, the whole series.
Nice.
Let's see. Collecting. Hey, Slobs Baseball Collecting. Good to see you. I haven't seen you here before. Or if I have, it's been under a different name. Welcome to our very informal Sunday morning show. Field sent me. Good to see you. Slobs and anybody else who's here. I've seen a few names that I haven't recognized before. Sunday morning, just for your information, you've heard it a couple times before already. Sunday morning tends to not be a show. It's just informal. We just get together and chat and talk about whatever comes to mind. Monday through Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central Standard is where we do the actual more organized formal show. So come on by for our hour-long show every night of the week. And today is it's usually where Raini carries Sunday mornings. She comes in and says all her great stuff and talks about our week and talks about parenting and skills and psychology and
all of that stuff.
All of that stuff.
Totally.
Totes.
Totes.
So thank you, Delaney. Yeah, lately our series is, and we're going to be in it for a while, talking about the gift of the serpent and talking about, during the week, talking about Gnosticism again, talking about faith, reason, Gnosticism, all of those things put together. So if you don't want to miss that, that's fun for the intellectual, esoteric mind, Monday through Friday this week. So LOL, you are Mr. Minksy. You are. I'm not sure who you're talking to there. Maybe it's Matt Finn. It was commercial, and I'm a French model. It was a commercial, and I'm a French model. I missed that, Matt. I missed the whole context of that. Sorry.
The French model was the French model and a doctor that I was supposed to go meet. He wasn't French. He wasn't a model. He was a doctor. I think that's
yes.
Yes.
I'm a French model to boot. Well, my wife, who would stand that up?
Yeah. And I used to be really cute before kids wrecked me.
She used to. Did you catch that? She used to be really cute.
Oh.
She hasn't changed much in the last 16, 17 years.
I got the jowls starting, but I'm in my 40s. That happens. Got the jowls.
40s. Raini's 40s is like the new late 20s.
3 kids, so I put on a few pounds. I used to be hot.
Who cares?
I'd be okay saying
What do you mean you used to be hot? See, here's the thing. I think my wife knows she's hot. And she's hot. Everybody knows she's hot. She has her moments where she's not so hot. You got your frumpy moments.
Yeah, like today.
I get my frumpy moments more than my hot moments. She's hot all the time. You must be our American model then. Says Matt. So, Delaney says, Discovery today, Rick is an eagle, and I'm a duck. Now I know why.
Where are you even seeing? Oh,
that's right there. They say for every kid you have, life expectancy drops 1.5 per kid.
Nice.
1.5%?
No, you lose 1.5 years.
Oh, you lose 1.5 years? So you're down like, what is that? That's 6 years? No, see, I can't do math. 4.5 years?
4.5. So I guess I'm only going to live to 94.5 then.
94.5 instead of 100. Or 99. Dang. What about for guys?
Yeah, whatever. Who was not feeling well yesterday and had to get up and tend to the kids?
Me. You said, hey, you want to go make her lunch? And I said, sure. But I had been sound asleep when she asked me that because we're lounging watching TV. So
the kids had been in like 50 times pestering me. I did not feel well yesterday.
And they wouldn't leave her alone.
I've had like a migraine.
And I slept through it all.
I've had a migraine for like the last 3 days with all this COVID stuff. And yeah, I was not feeling well. Did not want to even get out of bed. And the kids kept coming up. Scotty's just passed out on the freaking bed. Total dead to the world. You know why moms have a lower life expectancy after kids? Because dads don't freaking nurture or hear a goddamn thing ever.
Well, you know what? But then you said to me, you said, you want to go take care of the kids' lunch? I said, sure.
And then
I said, you just stay. I said, you stay in bed. I'll get up. And I rolled over and I'm looking at the TV and I'm trying to make my eyes wake up. And I'm going to get in 30 seconds later. She goes, I guess I'll just do it. And I'm like, well, give me a second to wake my brain up.
But then you go downstairs. It goes downstairs and all I hear is yelling. And it's like, fuck it.
Oh my God.
I should have just got up and done it myself. So then I'm up. I'm dizzy. It was
You were up
dizzy.
Before me.
Well, I sat there for a little bit. But I was so dizzy. So I'm like, whatever. I just got up. I started cleaning the house because I don't get to be sick. Moms don't get to be sick. Just
and I told her to stop, shut up, and go lay down.
And no, you already got me up.
I didn't get you up.
All you did was you came downstairs and you just yelled. You just yelled at the kids.
Oh, I yelled at the kids because I had a huge heaping mound of clean towels out of the laundry.
And you know why he had that clean heaping mound of laundry? Because the day before, he yelled and yelled for like an hour about why there's no more clean towels.
An hour.
And
60 minutes.
Kids and using all the towels and blah, blah, blah. So I did 6 loads of freaking laundry the day before that.
There you go. So, no, one of my big pet peeves is I fold towels. I put them in the bathroom down here on the shelf. There's an upstairs bathroom too.
Don't wash the towels, but he'll bitch about
them. And I do wash the towels and I fold them. And I have a certain way to fold towels. You all know this story.
Yeah, I do not fold the towels because it has to be done right.
It has to be done right. There's a certain way to fold towels so it looks decent on the shelf. You might as well, if we're going to have folded towels that are visible to anybody who walks in our house,
nobody comes
at least we can have a bit of civility and have the towels folded a certain way so they look nice. Color code them. for Pete's sake.
And I've learned that nobody comes to our house and we don't have friends because of me.
Oh, you learned that?
Yeah.
From who?
Ange.
Oh, Ange said that to you?
Well, I'm just assuming that with her story.
Oh, yeah.
With our mutual friends were talking shit that I was talking shit about somebody.
Yeah. People on social media. People we've known for 20 years. And they're like, well, we stopped talking to you because you don't respect us anymore. And what it really comes down to is they don't like our political opinion. Anybody, they can put up a public post and anybody can comment it on they want. But if you come in with a differing opinion, you're trolling for some reason. It's like,
well, it's like
hey, we're friends too, right?
It's like the Nick guy that I don't even know this Nick.
Yes.
Guy, and he's got a lot to say about us.
See ya, Audrey.
And me, I don't even know who this dude is. I don't know. I'm pretty mean, I guess.
Yeah. There was some guy that was bad-mouthing me online, and a mutual friend said, do you know this guy? I go, I don't know why. And he shouldn't sent me screenshots. I said, apparently this guy has me blocked. And he's saying all kinds of nasty stuff about me, and then saying, and his wife Raini is even worse. And he's got people commenting, back and forth. And so I wrote him. I must not have been blocked. We just must not have been friends or something. Or I was blocked from that post because I was able to write him a message. And I said, Nick, I don't really remember who you are, but do you and I have a problem going on between us? Because I'm seeing an awful lot of you bad-mouthing me by name in public and my wife. Do you want to get together and talk? And then he blocked me. That's what it was. He never responded.
I didn't get blocked until.
And this just happened the other day in a friend's post. Friends that we talk to all the time online. And he's in there. I didn't see it. Raini saw it because she wasn't blocked by him. And she showed me this post, all this nasty stuff he was saying about me in there. Can't believe any of you would even have Scotty Roberts as a friend.
But somebody
because he's a this and a that. That's all politics.
Somebody that I thought was, one of those friends that you've had forever, and you don't.
The woman,
really, you don't really have to say much, but when you see each other, you're friends. She came in and liked this just really rude comment.
Liked his post against me,
and I was like, dude, what the hell? Because I'm gonna call it out. Why would you like that shit? And so apparently.
And she said, well, I thought you don't respect me anyway. And it's like, whoa, back down. When did you ever get that impression? Now, we haven't hung out with these friends for a while, but we've been to their house. They've been to our house. Ange and I, she was big in the sword fighting, the stage combat community at the festival. And she and I, the last time we really interacted closely with them other than online was she was over to my house several times. And we were working in the yard, working out choreography on this big sword fight for the festival. And that was I was coming in as a guest fighter because I'd already been out of Fest. This was back 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, and we were doing a big sword fight. And
be on your phone or be on
working that out, and Raini and she were together on stuff and all of this. And her husband's a good friend of mine. He's a former Royal Guard with me at the festival. And pretty much a good voice of reason when it comes to politics. And he says stuff, and so we comment on each other's stuff all the time. I just designed a logo for him last year. Not even a year ago. He asked me if I'd design a logo for him. So, you know what? And I gave him the big, deep friends and family discount. And so these are people that we've never had a harsh word with. Will you be quiet? I'm wrestling hearing myself talking.
Shut the door when you go out.
We are doing a show with people. So, you know what? Shut the door behind you. Thank you. Could barely, I realize my voice is rising, but it's only because I couldn't hear myself over my child. So all of this kind of stuff, this craziness. And then she says Raini doesn't respect her. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? And Raini even asked her in the public channel, what are you referring to? I've never not respected you.
No, just go out.
Hey, what did I just tell you? What did I just tell you? We are doing a show with people that are watching and listening. Why don't you stop ignoring what we're saying and go out in the other room? There you go. Or stand and hug your mom. So, yeah, Matt, at least some things don't change.
Chapstick?
I've been a Trump supporter. I've never been a Biden supporter, so I don't get it.
On my little shelf.
So,
in a little yellow box about that big.
Jennifer's here. Good to see you, Jennifer. Haven't seen you for a long time. Nice to see you. Glad you're here. And so all that kind of stuff, that kind of energy's out there. And I find out the same woman stopped following me and didn't defriend me, but stopped following me because she didn't like my political points of view. That's okay. Cool. And her husband and I, we don't disagree very much. He's very reasoned in his thinking. And we talk about stuff. He tries to make sure he doesn't offend any of his friends. But he does make salient points. He's a first responder. And so, that kind of stuff. And it's like, what's the necessity of that?
Apparently our mutual friends are spreading crap, which I don't know that we even have mutual friends anymore because I don't know.
We haven't associated with a lot of the festival people for years. But this guy who was spreading crap about me and subsequently about Raini, I didn't even know who he was.
You did?
And he doesn't spill it that it's politics. He just said something about, what did he say? The post that you saw.
What?
That this Nick guy. What did he write the other guy? Who is this guy that's saying this?
Oh, yeah. It was something about being a racist, bigot.
Oh, I'm a racist and a bigot. And
a loser, and I don't know.
And it's like, who are you again? What do you know about me that I don't know about myself?
That's just an incestual weird place of everybody.
Ain't that the truth,
everybody
Jennifer?
Trying to get everybody else off.
That's the truth. Jennifer says people can just be nasty and love to jump on the bandwagon. Rumors. Mm-hmm. Very true.
And we haven't been out there for over 15 years.
Yeah, it's 2005. 2005 was our last full-time year. 2007, we went back a few weekends to do the Tam O'Hare on the children's stage. And that was it, other than a couple of visits in plain clothes, So people don't listen. You're right, Beth. They don't. And I find that this person, and she's intellectual. She's a very smart person. She's in PR, stuff like that.
Not smart enough to fall for the BS.
But then the same person, what I'm saying about that is she's an intelligent person yet, and claims that she's cutting us off because of the way we treat her. But we've never mistreated her. We've never even had conversations with her about politics online. And yet she's the one doing what she claimed we were doing. That's cutting people off and belittling people. We've never done any of that. And she came in and liked the post of this guy that was calling me a racist and a bigot. And Raini is the one that said, hey, why are you liking that post? Why would you like a post that says something like that about my husband? And then her comeback was, well, you haven't respected me for a long time. And Raini's like, what the hell are you talking about? So that's the progression of these kinds of things. No emotional maturity. I agree with you, Beth. That's a lack of emotional maturity.
That's something, though, that I think almost all the people that still work out at festival for all the years usually do lack. There's that weird...
Yes.
I don't know what happened. People. I don't know what happened in their life. I don't know.
Everybody's got something
weird out there.
And the festival seems to be predominantly inhabited by people who are very much to the far left, the progressive, that kind of thing. And so mom's not going to get a moment to not have to do for a kid. And the kid, you tell him over and over again, hey, we're doing a show. She just keeps talking. Yap, yap, yap. So I don't care what side of the political spectrum you're on. Even my friend Chris, the husband of this woman, when I say he's reasonable, I actually don't really know where he is politically. I don't know if he was a Trump supporter. I don't know if he was a Biden supporter. I don't know if he was an independent. I know he's independent, but you don't know where he stands. But he expresses himself about the political world, and he's very reasoned and common-sensed. And we always get along just fine. And I agree with a lot of what he says. So anyway, those of you who follow any of my political posts, like Beth, if you see him, Chris Olson, that's a good friend of mine. very reasoned individual. So all of that to say, there's so much weirdness out there. And it's crazy. I always think I'm when this guy comes in and says I'm a racist and a bigot, I would ask him if anybody calls me. I've had people call me that just in the last couple of weeks. And said, well, what makes me a racist and a bigot? What is it you think you know about me? Somebody the other day said I was a fool and racist and bigot. And it had nothing to do with anything. I wasn't preaching anything. And I'm like, well, based on what? I said, you don't know me well enough to call me a fool or a racist or a bigot. What do you know about me? Cite some examples for me of what you know about me that makes me a racist, bigot, and a fool. And of course, they always, well, I've done my mic drops, so I'm gone now. It's like, shut up. Go play. I can say anything I want about anybody to your face as long as I have the virtual anonymity of being on social media and the internet. Why don't you come on out and have a couple of drinks with us? Let's all get together, and then you can tell me to my face what kind of fool and bigot and racist I am. And that's not a threat, like, and I'll punch you in the mouth for it. That's a tell me to my eye, look in my eyes and tell me I'm a racist and a bigot based on what you know about me. It's just because I'm on a certain end of the political spectrum. My political ideology is more over here than it is over here. So I'm going to make this assumption about you. That's what gets old.
Yeah.
No, Delaney, I don't need anybody. I can embarrass people all I want if I wanted to. I just don't do that. The only time I ever come out on social media, any of you who follow me on social media, I would challenge you to find anything I ever say that's nasty toward anybody. I don't. It's not the way I deal with people.
Not unless somebody comes in and attacks you.
Until somebody either attacks my wife or attacks me. I can handle attacks on me. I'm more like, oh yeah, well, prove it. Prove your point. If you're going to attack me, prove your point. And they usually can't. It's all built within opinions and political ideologies and political opinions. No. Tell me, I attack people that will attack other people and not relent. I've had people where I say to them, I'm going to give you a warning. I got a guy who comes into my pages. I think his name is Michael or something. He's an old idiot.
Yeah, another festy.
Another festy. And he's always coming in and saying things like, yeah, because he murders babies. Wah, ha, 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 you and your Trumpites. And I'm like, Michael, there you go again. And I said, why don't you cite some examples of what you're saying? Guys like that, I like to toy with them after a while because they don't actually say anything of substance. They just come into, and are they a troll because they're your friend? Not really, but they come in, and the only time I ever see him comment, I said to him one time, I said, that's a beautiful point you're making there, Michael. Back it up. Oh, and by the way, how come you don't post on anything other than when you disagree with me politically? And then it never makes any common sense. Things you say are just kind of stupid and vapid, empty, mindless. I said, why don't you give me something substantive? I said, if that's all you're going to do, I said, then go do it somewhere else. I roast my babies with vegetables. Ooh, babies with vegetables.
Yeah.
See, look at Raini. Doesn't she? She looks like she's like 25 years old.
I look like I'm really tired and something's kicking
You look like a tired 25-year-old.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm just looking at you. I'm up on my screen. Pretty amazing. Wow. Lovely Raini. There she is. She makes me feel old some days.
You are old. You're
Yeah.
60.
You know what? 20 years from now, you're going to be old like me.
I'll never be as old as you. Ha ha!
Ha ha! 20 years from now, I'll be 80.
Yep.
I'll be 80
You'll always be
in 20
older.
years. Think of the time we've known each other now.
Yeah.
16 years. 16 years from now, I'll be 76.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
I'll be 72 before the littlest one graduates from high school. 72-year-old dad. Oh, your grandpa came to your graduation.
Yeah, Grandpa.
So yeah, she does look small next to me, doesn't she?
I'm tired. I'm really tired. This
Here, stand
COVID
up.
stuff, even though I'm not really having any super bad side
I think
effects,
it's camera angle.
I'm
'Cause there.
just
Now
exhausted.
here, I'll get behind her. There, see? That's how small. Now she makes me look small.
Let me stand up.
It's camera angle. There you go. Okay. Here. Stand up. See? That's how we are side by side. Boom. Kish, that's French.
Don't give me your COVID, you asshat.
I can't give you COVID.
You already did.
And you can't give me yours.
You already did give me your COVID.
I'm immune for 90 days to 2 years. I don't know which yet. So,
Nice.
always lovely, Raini. Hey, Kelly. Good to see you.
Yeah, hey.
Hey, slobs baseball collecting. Both so young and full of life. That's us. Zesty, full of life.
Has anybody in the chat yet had COVID?
Yeah, is anybody out there in the chat room? Have you had COVID?
Smooches.
Jennifer says,
that's
make it
how
about
I
10.
got COVID. I do not like kissing. I do not like germs. I don't know. Since kids, I don't like germs. And yeah, Scotty's kissed me. I'm like, you're gonna give me COVID, and guess what I got now?
I didn't kiss you when I had COVID.
Yes, you did. You kissed me while you were still spreading germs.
Never on the lips.
Yeah.
Hey, Raini, come and give us a kiss. Here, wait, okay, now I'm good.
Yeah. Gross. Back off.
Give me a kiss, COVID girl.
No. What if we have different COVIDs and then we're spreading the COVID germs back and forth? I
We
can't
have
do it
different
again.
COVIDs.
I can't do it again.
Let's see. Jennifer says, I think I had it at the start in 2019 when I was hospitalized. You know, Jennifer, we wondered that too. We thought our whole family may have had it way back in December of 2019, January of 2020, before it was a thing. And now, when I had it 2 weeks ago, those were different symptoms. I had the sinus thing. The only thing that made me think it was COVID was the loss of taste. I had the pounding headache the first day or two and the sinus thing. And I thought the headache was from the sinus. I thought I had a sinus infection. But my sinuses, my face didn't hurt as a normal sinus infection would. But right away with it all, I had the loss of taste. And it was the loss of taste was the sensation that made me think, I wonder if this is COVID. And I went Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday before we went and got tested finally. And by Friday, Saturday, it's already dissipating. They got back to me last Saturday, I think. So a week ago yesterday to tell me, yep, you tested positive. And now it's gone. So the only thing is a remnant. It's like a head cold. So a little stuffy, and that's about it. Hey, excuse me, what? I'm sorry. You're just coming, just talking loud.
I told her, let me know when she's ready for me to turn the pan on.
You can turn it on now.
Okay, I'll be there in just a second. She's making us scrambled eggs.
Oh, sure.
Not
Nice.
you, Daddy.
Yeah,
Not
you, Daddy.
you, Daddy.
Here now.
Blah, blah, blah.
Well, you got sick and you spent your week sleeping.
I did.
And Wednesday,
It just felt like I'd been hit by a truck.
It really started for me. And then that was, I think Wednesday is when I noticed I didn't have much taste. I could taste really salty and I could taste really sweet, but there was no flavors in between salt or sweet.
Yeah.
And then Friday.
That was me. I could taste, if it was really salty, I could taste it in the back of my tongue. Or if it was really sweet, I could taste the sensation, but not the flavor. So.
Yeah. And then Flynn. And I'm pretty sure Ellie had it, but Ellie tested negative in between Scotty and me getting tested. But they only stuck the thing up one nostril, and then she curled up in a ball and was like, "You're not touching me.
You're not doing that again."
But they didn't do the soft one. Where we went, they had like the soft Q-tip where they just stick it right up here. And for Ellie's, hers went like way the hell back.
She had to go back and hit her brain.
And it was that brush, that hurty brush, because she said for a couple of days it still hurts.
Carly says it was horrific. We were sick for 6 weeks. I ran fevers for 5 days straight. I usually never get in fevers. Temps low. We never lost our sense of taste, though. Now, Carly, do you think any of
Thank
that has
you.
to do with any of the other physical stuff that's going on with you? Because, or does it just treat different people differently? Are there different strains that we don't know about?
See, we never got fevers.
Yeah, I never had a fever. I never had difficulty breathing, which was the big fear I had, was the respiratory part of COVID. I thought, if I get it, I'm going to die because I can't breathe. But it never affected me that way. So.
And see, I felt like I had exercised. There was a few times where I felt like I was exercising without exercising like that.
Yeah.
Just really.
Oh, yeah, I did some of that.
Mm-hmm.
If I'd walk up the stairs to go to bed, I'd sit down on the edge of the bed and go. So Roger said he had 102, 104 fever for 5 days and felt like he was run over by a truck. See, now I never had the fever, but I felt like I'd been run over by a truck for about a week in there. Just everything, all your limbs weak and joints hurt and all that kind of crap. So, well, by the way, I just saw it on the screen. Look at this. I filled some of the nail holes because I had moved things around, spackled in some of the nail holes. There were a couple little ones down here. My daughter took it on herself to take the spackle with her hands and her fingers. Splack. And so I got that and that and that and all of those down over there. That whole wall underneath the Marine Corps sign. There's all these splotchy fingerprinted things my child did. And I found them and I go, which one of you children did that? And by the way, the spackle's all over the side of the bookshelf there and stuff. And, it's all over everywhere. And so that's my child spackling. I said, you do realize
I love
now.
that there's food mixed into it, too.
Yeah, there's food in one of them.
That's the 9-year-old, by the way.
And I said, you do realize now that you've now created more work. I said, because now we got to scrape that and sand it all down. And I said, the way I put it up, I said, I'd put it on a fingertip and I'd wipe it on the hole and I'd just smear it out a little bit so it covers the hole and you can hardly see where it was. It just needs the touch-up paint now. And so now we got to sand all the I just happened to notice that on the screen as I was looking. If you're wondering what all that blotchiness on my wall, no, that's not artistic plaster work. Good job, kiddies. Kiddos, says Beth Kirkham. Need a sanding block. Yeah, I'm going to teach my daughter now how to use a sanding block. Now that she's spackled without any assistance, I'm going to teach her how to use the sanding block. So, well, folks, you know what? It is now 10:49 my time, which might as well be 10:50, which might as well, in the grand scheme of the cosmos, actually be 11 o'clock. So we're going to wrap this up over the next couple of minutes now.
In a second.
And
I got to go get the spatula. She can't get it out of the dishwasher.
We'll wait till Raini comes back to say her official goodbyes. And then we'll go. So that's all we got for today. And I'm glad you stopped by. If you were new to the show this morning, thank you for being here. Sunday morning, very informal. Every now and then, we'll get a topic and throw it about. But for the most part, we're just very informal on Sunday and have a good time. Talk with you guys. So Jennifer says, get well and strong soon. Carly, Sagan, and Roger.
Stupid kids.
Both of you.
Rowan
Good to see you, Beth.
Told me she's going to have cereal. Guess what? I threw all the cereal away because the cereal got left out yesterday.
Yeah, kids, they open stuff. I have one child that I'll say, they'll all be sitting out there, they're watching cartoons or something, and I walk out in the kitchen. All the cupboards are open. The jelly is out and the lid's off of it. And, there's this and that laying around and empty wrappers. And I go, hey, Rowan, you were out here, weren't you? I know, because everything's left open. And so
well, Flynn's the one who left the cereal out. And it's the gluten-free Lucky Charms.
Gluten-free Lucky Charms.
Ticked off that he left them out. And I said to him,
Yeah, Susie Q. Yeoman's in the house.
Come put them away. And it was like 10 minutes later, and he was up in the kitchen but didn't put them away. And it's like, screw it. They're in the trash. You want cereal tomorrow?
Yep.
You don't get any now.
She told him like 3 times. He didn't do it. It's like, okay, bye.
And
See ya.
Rowan doesn't like eggs, so she's like, I'll just have cereal. And it's like, your brother's dumb.
Enjoy
Now you
your
don't get
Lucky
cereal.
Charms now.
Yeah, my Lucky Charms.
So anyway, good to see you all this morning.
Yeah, nice to see you.
We are we're gonna wrap it up for today.
Yeah, I'm
Be
ready to
sure
go back
this
to
week.
sleep.
Yeah, let's go watch TV and fall asleep on the sofa. This week, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central for the Intrepid radio program. And we're going to do, now that I'm back on my feet and kind of back in the saddle a bit, we'll probably do a couple of just a lousy cup of coffee in the morning for members only. So everybody, thank you for being here. I hope you have a fun day. The sun's not quite out yet. I don't mind these cold mornings when it's not just gray. We'll have gray mornings with little patches of blue. That's the way it's been lately. Lots of sunshine. So we had like 6 inches of snow last night.
We only had like 3, but
Well, looked like 6.
it was 3.
It's 6.
3.
The female male English. So we're gonna take the day easy. You guys too. You have a good Sunday and good Monday morning, and we'll see you again here tomorrow night. And you got any parting words of sage wisdom?
I got.
Oh, you with the
nothing.
glossy lips.
I got, yeah. Well, my lips have been dry because of all the COVID that my skin's been peeling off and they hurt. Yeah, it's great. That's my chapstick. Wear chapstick, everybody. That's my words of wisdom.
Sexy.
Chapstick.
All right, guys.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
What?
See ya.
What? You were gonna say something else.
No, it's like, even though we're not in Minnesota, it's the long
Yeah.
Minnesota goodbye. Okay, we're gonna leave.
So we're gonna get out of here.
But
All right,
we're gonna
guys.
tell a
Thanks,
story.
everybody. Good to see you. Glad you're
good one.
here. Love y'all.
I'm gonna cut up the eggs.
Okay.
We're gonna go eat scrambled eggs made by the 6-year-old.
Yeah.
Not me, though.
Dad
Not
doesn't get
me.
any.
Yeah, I'm not cooking for you today either. We're gonna eat wieners and you get nothing. There, told her. All right, guys. You have a good day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.